Hey, so one of my students gave me some cookies by emailing and saying, Mr. Daniel, I don't know how they got that answer on number 6. How do you do that? So let's look at the problem real quick. Okay. Jose can read 7 pages of his book in 5 minutes. So right now we have reading pages and we have a time, minutes. Okay. So I think what we're doing here is our ratio that we're coming up with is pages per minutes. Okay. Those are the two things, pages and the time is minutes. Okay. And we have pages and minutes. Let's write that on the back. And remember, you can write ratios 3 different ways. One is actually writing the words and the word to, right? Pages to minutes, right? Another way is you write and you say it the same way. You say pages 2 minutes, but you use a colon instead of the word to. Okay? And the third way is you write it as a fraction, pages on top, the first number on top, and the second number on the bottom. Okay? And if you take the ratio, what you read, slowly, and just figure out, what did I read? They want to know pages per minutes, right? And I already know they told us he can read 7 pages in 5 minutes. So my ratio of pages per minutes is 7 to 5. The next thing they tell you is you want to find how long it was going to take to read a book that's 175 pages. So where am I going to write the 175? Is going to be on top or bottom? Well, where's the pages? Because we're talking about 175 pages. It's on top, right? So I put that on top. And they say, how long will it take? Well, that's the minutes. And usually you would just shorten and use a variable for the one thing that you don't know. Okay. Now I have a proportion. Okay. Now to solve a proportion, remember the technique that we are using is we are using cross multiply. Cross multiply makes a cross. Okay. And you're going to go the top over here times the bottom over there, the bottom over here times top over here. And you could pick any equivalent fraction that you might know. Let's say that you know that 2/5 is the same as 4/10. Whenever you have an equivalent fractions, you can cross multiply and get the same answer. So if 2/5 is the same as 4/10, that means 2 times 10 should also equal 5 times 4. Well, what's 2 times 10? 20. What's 5 times 4? 20. So again, this is just me proving that you're allowed to do this cross multiply thing. Okay? Okay. So let's do this problem. I have 7 to 5 is the same as 175 to this thing we don't know. So I'm going to cross multiply. So I have 7 times n, and that equals 5 times 175. Now, I like the letter to go first, so I'm just going to switch this around. I'm OCD that way, right? And I'm going to figure out what's 5 times 175. Okay? Just come over here, multiply. I'm using the standard algorithm. You can use another technique if you want. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 2, 37. And 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3, 8. So I just have a basic algebra problem now that some of you are starting to get good at solving. Remember, if you're not good at it, you're not going to say, I'm not good at it. You're going to say, I'm not good at it yet. Just follow along. Our goal is to isolate the variable. Really, what we're trying to do, we're trying to figure out what does m equal. Well, then at the bottom, I'm going to have m equals something, right? That means the m is all by itself on one side equal sign, and I have a number on the other side. In order to do that, I have to get rid of everything else. So I have to get rid of a times 7. And whatever you're getting rid of, to get rid of it, you just have to do the opposite. So you ask yourself, what's the opposite of times 7? Well, hopefully you're figuring out it's divided by 7. Right? Take any number. Right? 2 times 7 is 14. Divided by 7, 14 divided by 7 is 2. You're back where we started, no matter what. So I'm going to divide this side by 7. But remember, my equation is something that's in perfect balance. So I can't just divide this side by 7 without my thing getting out of balance, right? My equation. So again, that's where that bracelet comes in. I have to make sure I do the same thing to the other side. So if I divide this side by 7, I divide this side by 7. And you guys are going to notice again, whenever I solve this, if I'm paying attention, I'll always do the inverse operation, the opposite on both sides in another color ink. So it kind of stands out. Everything's the same. And then I just do that. They cancel out on that side. I end up with M equals 875 divided by 7. And now I just got to do the math, right? 7 into 875. Now 7 fits into 8, right? So I have that 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. Now what do I do? I subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. What do I do now? Bring down that next number. And now I'm saying 7 goes into 17 how many times? Well, that's 2. That's 2 times 7 is 14. I subtract. What do I do now? Bring down that next number. And then 7 goes into 35 how many times? 5. So my answer is 125. If Jose can read 7 pages in 5 minutes, if he was going to read a 175-page book, it would take him 125 minutes. All right, I hope that helps. And again, if you need help, give me cookies. I'm going to go drink some milk now. Have a great weekend, everybody.